Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and it's time for a positive spin. Today we're going to be talking about FEARDOTCom. Now, my history with this film, I got this after it came out. I watched it. I remember enjoying it, but I really haven't watched it since then. That is not to say that it's not a good film. What that means is I have a ton of movies to watch, and the odds of getting to all of them are not great, which makes watching ones that I've already seen, again, even worse. So, Joe and I decided to do it for a positive spin. So, let's put a positive spin on fear.com. Now, a little story or back, something about myself that you may find interesting, may not, who knows. But whenever I get on Instagram or Facebook, I don't get on Facebook too often, but when I do, there's always these things for the worst movies, the 10 worst movies ever made, the 30 worst movies ever made, movies that killed someone's career, movies that were absolute box office bombs. Usually negative stuff. Every once in a while, there's positive things like actors who had one big movie that made their career better. But most of them are negative, and I fall for it every time. I start going through this list, and I'm like, I really shouldn't be wasting my time on this, but I do it anyway. And when I'm looking at lists like the worst movies ever made, most of them I don't agree with, of course, because we have this positive spin. And I've seen a ton of movies, and the people who say that the worst movie they've ever seen is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, as an example, not putting anyone down, but people who say that that's the worst movie they've ever seen clearly haven't seen a lot of horror movies, because there are some real trash out there. Um, Movies with no budget, movies with, cameras that you can see in the background, or special effects that are just not good. And while I applaud a lot of the people for making their own films, I think that's a gutsy move. And they're doing more than I am. So sometimes their movies don't come out very, very good. Let's face it. But when I hear someone say Fear.com is the worst movie they've ever seen, that just tells me that they haven't seen a lot of horror films, or they're over exaggerating, trying to get views, making a rant to try to get views or something like that. It's tired. It really is. I'm sitting here, I'm watching this movie that I don't remember a whole lot of because I haven't seen it in years. And I'm constantly asking Joe, what's wrong with this movie? I don't get it. I'm reading reviews on IMDb and, hearing stuff like, well, how can a ghost make a website? Okay. Well, clearly you have a problem with fear.com, but you didn't have a problem with Unfriended or Smiley. Well, some people do hate that one. Or Host from Shudder that got a ton of praise. I don't understand how it's the worst thing ever happened for one movie, but yet this other movie is praised when it's basically almost the same thing. So, what I like about fear.com, right away, I'll watch anything, and I told Joe this the other night when we were watching it. I'll watch anything with Steven Dorff. I think he is a a really good actor, and he's got a presence on screen. And I've enjoyed most of the things that he's been in. Not everything, but most things. It also has Natasha McKellum, and she was in Californication. I always liked her. I always thought she was really pretty. And it has Stephen Rea, which I've always liked him as well. So right away, it has a good cast. It has really cool special effects and a really cool concept that at the time was pretty different. You have to understand that this was at the time where The Ring came out and The Grudge and The Eye. So this was another movie that kind of followed in that sort of format. It wasn't a remake of an Asian film, but it kind of felt like a remake of an Asian film, in my opinion. And they did a really good job with it. Another thing I love about it is the atmosphere and the locations. You have some that are down in a sewer. Everything's kind of dark and drab throughout the whole movie. And I like that. It gives you a feeling of impending doom. A lot of times it's raining. And I think that works well in a context of a horror film. Then we have the ghost and or the um, the police officers trying to solve this, getting clues from a ghost, and I think that's cool. They said a ghost set up this website. Did they watch the film? I don't know. The website is about a guy who tortures people, and it's kind of trying to make a social commentary that that's what people want to see. People want to see negative. People want to see death. People want to see agony and torment. And Stephen Rea is probably one of the better villains I've seen in quite some time. He's just creepy and icky, if that's, for lack of a better word. He's very soft spoken, but yet the things he's saying are absolutely horrific. And I think he does a fantastic job in this. This movie has a great cast with great acting, and it has really good effects and really great landscapes and atmosphere and locations and stuff like that. And I don't understand the hate for this film. Did it age fantastic? No. But a lot of these movies from back then didn't. It's almost like I remember how much people loved The Ring and The Grudge. And all of a sudden, the cool kids didn't like them anymore, so everyone else had to hate them. To me, that's weak and makes people feel like sheep. That's just my opinion. So check out fear.com. Give it another watch if you have it. You may enjoy it as well. I've always enjoyed it. Or don't. But don't forget to check out Joe's positive spin for fear.com. And remember, guys, physical media matters. And until next time, peace.